What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the 10-7 MMA. I personally happen to be DS, and this is my good boy and my good friend, my good friend, Dino Bam Bam.
I personally happen to be Dino Bam Bam.
He does.
That's what I'm known for. So.
He does.
Yeah.
And today,
yes,
we're back. We're back again. It's been a little bit of a hiatus. We're here to cover a massive card, UFC 294. And our apologies for not making a video last week. I will take the blame for that.
Not a big deal.
I'm going to be truthful with you guys. I lost my good boy. That's why I called him my boy. He is my boy. But I lost my good boy, my dog of 14 years, Frankie. So shout out Frankie. And rest in peace to the best boy that ever lived. But yeah, I was pretty broken up about that. We're all human. I just wanted to be honest with you guys. So, but on that note, we're here to cover a massive card. Obviously, massive changes in the last 2 weeks on this card.
Yeah, 11 days, right?
Whether you like it or not. Was it both on the same day, too?
Yeah.
That's nuts, dude.
Yeah.
They obviously, clearly, they had this cooking. Because, like, there was no panic. Like, when they announced, like, oh, like, it was like,
yeah,
they had clearly had it cooking.
Yeah.
So, before we get into it, though, Dino Bam Bam, let them know what they could or should do.
You guys could or should, and we would really appreciate it if you did. Follow us on Instagram at D107MMA. Also, hit the little thumbs up, ring the little bell.
Boop.
There it is. That's the sound it makes. Again, if it doesn't, let me know. I'll take care of it.
If it doesn't, we're going to message YouTube about it. I
Right.
should be making that sound.
We're going to be doing a lot of things. But yes, follow us
You think
on
we could custom add it, like, for when they click our specific bell, for it to just be like, it's just me just going boop, boop, boop. Like,
I highly doubt
that. Yeah.
But
Same.
if y'all want to make that happen, just let us know. You know, if we get like a community pushing for that,
I still doubt it.
I doubt it still as
Yeah,
well.
but
like,
it'd be fun. It'd be cool.
fun.
It'd be nice to know that you guys care.
Yeah, so just follow us, click the little thumbs up, do all that shit, ring the bell, all that. UFC 294. Really quickly, before we start this, I need to say this, and I told you this off camera. On Tapology, they have Alexander Volkanovski ranked as the third best featherweight on the planet.
Yeah, that's
behind
just...
#1 Max Holloway, who Volk has beaten 3 times, and #2 Yair Rodriguez, who
he just beat.
Literally in July, Volk just beat his ass.
And we were there.
And we were there for that. So I saw it happen. I don't know how he's better than Volk, but
yeah,
you know, here we are.
Yep.
Here we
so
are.
that's egregious. But aside from that, there are a lot of cancellations, a lot of movement on this card. Credit to the UFC for keeping it together and making it happen. Arguably, it's better.
Yeah, probably.
On paper.
Yeah.
If, let's take away the aspect of it's short notice for Usman and Volk. Would I have loved to see these fights? Yes. Would I have loved to see them more with full training camps? Of course.
Yeah.
So.
Also, something needs to be said. Like, Islam Makhachev, the best 155er on the planet. Alex Volkanovski, the best 145er on the planet. A rematch that, like, we need after an unreal fight in February. And we want.
But not like this necessarily.
Not like this necessarily, but also there's something to be said about the absence of the main character, Charles Oliveira.
There is that too. And I think, like, I haven't seen too much of that, to be honest. And I guess it goes to show you how big of a star Volk really is.
Yeah,
you know?
He's huge.
And we'll get to it on how we really feel about it. But let's jump right into it if you're ready.
Yeah.
Let's jump right into it. We got 13 fights on the docket. The first one being a massively hyped prospect making his UFC debut. We're talking, of course, about Sharbudin Magomedov.
There it is.
He's got red hair and one eye, and he looks just terrifying. Like, if you saw that kind of guy, you'd be like, that guy's terrifying.
Yeah, I don't want to see him in like a dark alley.
Certainly don't want to see him on an escalator, that's for sure. He's taking out Bruno Silva.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this fight?
All right, insane way to start the card. Obviously, let's start with the newcomer, the super highly touted Sharbudin Magomedov. Some MMA fans are going to know him from 2 viral moments that he's had in our sphere. #1 was when he beat the shit out of some guy at a mall. He was
making out with his girl.
Yeah, in Dagestan, some guy was making out with his girl at the mall. That's a no-no over there.
Yeah.
And maybe Sharbudin doesn't get like so much play. Or
I was going to say, do you think Dagestan motherfuckers are out here like, okay, they're not getting pussy like that?
No, they can't.
Yeah. So, like, that's
but
crazy.
anyways.
Like, okay, your average Dagestani dude, how many women do you think he has sex with in his life?
His wives.
Fair.
Yeah, so there's that. But anyway, so he had the beat the shit out of the guy at the mall incident.
Yeah.
Then in another incident, I guess he was grappling some sort of jiu-jitsu tournament or like a grappling tournament, and he got tapped out via like a knee bar or something along those lines. And then he got up and kicked the guy because he was angry at saying he didn't tap, which he did. Regardless,
good sport.
Yeah, he's an absolute menace.
Seems like a well-adjusted man.
Yeah, he's an absolute menace, though. He is 11-0. 10 of his wins are by KO, TKO. I watched a ton of film on this guy. He is 1,000% a striker. He is not a grappler at all.
I'm glad you said that, because like from the region...
Right, you would assume a guy named Magomedov, looking scary like this guy does, you would assume he's a wrestler, but he's not. Uses a very heavy kick game. Really good leg kicks. He disguises the kicks pretty damn well sometimes.
Fast.
But sometimes he does telegraph them.
He does.
So it's weird with him,
But they're
right?
fast.
They are very fast. They're very powerful. They come from weird angles, stuff like that. In terms of hands, they're good. Like, he's got good power, but it's nothing special. He is definitely a kick-oriented striker. Great in the clinch. Good elbows in the clinch. Very powerful with those kind of shots. He hasn't faced the highest level of competition yet, right? So Bruno Silva is going to be the highest level of comp he's faced.
Can I
so
just
far.
real
Go
quick?
ahead. Yeah.
Okay, but Dino, we've seen many fighters from this region specifically,
Yeah.
especially on this type of card,
Right.
come in gassed up, super hyped up. But bro, like, he's fought okay competition.
They're
at
okay,
least.
yeah.
Like, he hasn't fought cans.
No,
And
right.
He doesn't have a lot of
There
experience.
are some cans and some are not cans.
He hasn't. Ah, man. Like he hasn't fought. He doesn't have a lot of experience, and like
He has a ton of experience in other martial arts. He's done like
Sure.
a ton of other shit.
and since a kid and shit. So
Right.
First 3 fights, absolute cans.
Yeah.
Then 8-5, 4-1, 9-2, 14-5, 27-21, 16-4, 21-5. Like
Right.
that's not
Decent
bad.
records, right.
Like,
Decent
it's not
records.
like pure like they're just padding this.
Right. No, I get what you're saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. He's not like a stat padding kind of guy. Don't think of Habib or
That's what I want to say,
Yeah, don't
yeah.
think of those guys, right? Like, but it is a little bit padded. One thing I noticed that I didn't love about his game, but he is very comfortable in doing it, is he kind of does that the Kevin Lee thing, or I'm sorry, the Tyron Woodley thing, where he's just backing up all the time. He likes his back foot on the fence, and he prefers being the one that's being attacked.
He's a counterpuncher.
Exactly. He's a counter puncher, but he's more of a counter kicker.
Yeah.
He does leave his hands low, which worries me when he's facing a high-level striker. Bruno Silva is a high-level striker. On the feet, he does have really good skills. He's okay on the ground as well. He struggles when the fight is taken to the ground, Bruno, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing with Charbut Magomedov. Really good takedown defense for Magomedov. But in the 2 instances that I've seen him on the ground, he's kind of struggled. There was one fight that comes to mind where somebody had his back in the middle of the cage, and he kind of was just like forced to ride out the round. He almost gave up the
Was
sub.
it the one he went to the one he went to decision?
I don't recall
Okay.
if it was, but he definitely dropped that round. To me, this is kind of simple, though, right? It's a puncher versus a kicker. I don't think the ground game's going to really come into this game at all. Silva is tough. He made it the distance against Alex Pereira, who I think is the better striker between all
three, of
the
course. Yeah,
three
no
guys,
question,
right?
yeah.
But he was dropped by Brendan Allen.
Yeah.
I love Brendan Allen, absolute my guy, but that
Me
kind of
too.
worries me. I think I have to lean Magomedov here by KO. This could go the distance because both guys are tough, and they haven't really showed us that they are like knockout prone, I guess, besides that shot that he took from Brendan Allen. That being said, this will be a really fun way to start the fight, to start the night, or the morning, actually. Big odds, though. -200 for Charbut Magomedov.
I don't think they're that crazy, especially compared to some of the odds on this card.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I agree with you. I see a late first round knockout for Charbuten.
Yeah.
This guy is just terrifying looking. He throws. I think you're boxing him in a little bit as a striker because I do think he's got some hands too. He's gonna have a massive striking speed advantage in my opinion.
Yeah.
In this, and also he looks so dense. Like you can
he's
tell
big body.
You can tell the dude has a lot of power. You know, had you asked me this directly after the Alex Pereira fight, maybe I would have felt differently.
The thing is, though,
But
Dino, really
seeing-
quickly, he fought a ton at 170. And
That's
this
right.
is at 185.
He doesn't look like the thickest 185er, even though he does have 2 inches supposedly. That's actually one thing I'm very curious about.
I hope he has more than just 2 inches. Just
Well,
for his sake.
You know, whatever. He's no less of a man. But I am curious to see how much of a height, like, is he actually 6'2"? because Bruno Silva, like, I haven't seen them next to each other.
Yeah.
But Bruno Silva looks like a massive dude.
Yeah.
And Magomedov does not look that massive.
And he's supposedly a couple inches taller, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. I guess having been dropped by Brandon Allen, losing to Mearshart how he did, I feel like Magomedov has submission skills. He just doesn't want to use them. So
we'll see, yeah.
We'll see. It's a crazy first matchup in the UFC. And also the cardio thing. I know that Bruno Silva doesn't have great cardio.
Yeah.
Does Magomedov? I don't know. I don't really see this going that far. I see a late first round TKO for Sharbud Magomedov. I think he's going to catch him with something and just end it with ground and pound.
So we agree. And going back to the other thing, I actually did start with a really fun fight here.
You did.
And now, unfortunately,
here I go.
Yeah.
And here I go, diving right into the second fight of the night. Jinh Yu Frey versus Viktoriia Dudakova. Viktoriia Dudakova, her last fight, her UFC debut. Who'd she fight? Nunes?
Estela
Nunes. Yeah, I mean, Estela Nunes, like, dislocated her elbow badly on the way down.
Seconds, yeah.
And like 30 seconds in. Now, I think for me, what this fight really is it's a... Okay, Jinh Yu Frey, respect to her. She's been in the organization a long time.
Yeah.
She's 38 years old. Hasn't looked amazing. Hasn't looked great, really, in a couple years now. Dudakova, hungrier fighter, younger. To me, she's potentially better everywhere at this point. Yeah. She's born in 1999, so what? She's like, 24? Like, super young. And let's be real, attractive. She's an attractive woman. It's in that general region of the world. I think this is just the UFC giving her a very beatable opponent here. She's bigger. She's younger. She's a strong enough grappler to me where, and I've seen Frey really look really bad on the bottom.
Right.
So Frey maybe has the better hands, low key. Like I just don't see it, man. You know, she's getting older. She's getting up there in age. I think this is a fight that the UFC is setting up, and there's a couple of these I think we'll agree on where like the UFC is setting up certain types of prospects or certain types of regions with prospects from that region.
It's a themed card, right?
Of course, exactly. So yeah, I'm gonna go Dudakova. I don't think she gets the finish. You know, Jinh Yu Frey, like we've seen prospects come in and not do that well. We've talked about that on this very show. So I'm gonna go by decision, Viktoriia Dudakova.
All right, I completely disagree with you. And by saying that, I mean I think she's going to finish her. I think Viktoriia Dudakova is going to get a submission in the first round. Jinh Yu Frey.
I'm like, damn, you're going Jinh Yu Frey?
I would never do that.
Yeah.
She's 11-9 on a 3-fight losing streak. She looks old, man. Yeah. And if this fight was 10 years ago, Dudakova would be like 14.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like if this was Jinh Yu Frey like 7 years ago, maybe there's something to be said. But Dudakova looks legit, man. I'm usually not excited about female prospects. She looks like the real deal. Like, this girl could do some stuff in this division, I think.
Maybe,
she's 24, man.
Yeah.
She's 24. She's a beast grappler with good sub skills. So, Viktoriia Dudakova, I'm going probably an RNC, but I have like a hunch that it'll be an armbar. Round one. Yeah.
All right. I like it. Moving on. Nathaniel Wood versus Muhammad Naimov at 145. What do you think about this one?
I think, to me, this has been the fight there's a few fights on this card that are very close and that I've been kind of like swaying on. This is one of them. And the odds don't reflect that at all. Nathaniel Wood is a minus 310 the last time I checked. That's a little crazy to me. But regardless, let's start with Nathaniel Wood. He's a good striker, decent power, decent grappling, good sub skills, good takedowns. There's literally nothing to not like about Nathaniel Wood.
You know I like this guy a lot.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, good on him for finally fighting outside of the UK, I guess. At least
I guess that's cool, right. There's nothing to not like about him, but there's nothing that like I love about Nathaniel Wood. And the thing
he's like towards the top of guys that we talk about so much where like nothing really stands out.
Yeah.
But he's at the top of that because he does everything pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there are guys that are ranked that are kind of like that. I'm not going to bring up names right now, but there are guys that are like, you know, the elite of that.
Yeah.
But it's like Nathaniel Wood, it's like, in my mind, he's still this like 26-year-old prospect.
He's not.
He's 30.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, dude, it's time. Like, if you're going to do anything, it's time to start doing it.
It's been time.
Right? He's
also, this is it's a weird matchmaking to me. It's like step down.
Yeah. And he was supposed to grapple Aljo
Yeah.
like a few weeks ago. He ended up pulling out of that, I guess, because he got this fight.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, though, last time out, he beat Andre Fili in an absolute war. That fight was fun as shit. He was cracked. He was dropped. He managed to survive and win that fight. He showed us something in that fight, which is that he does have that dog in him, right?
Exactly.
He is that kind of guy. There's nothing to not like about him. There's nothing to love about him. How much better is he going to get is my biggest question about Nathaniel Wood. On the other side, Muhammad Naimov, well-rounded striker, decent wrestler. He's fast. He's athletic. He works well in the clinch. He won his debut against Jamie Malarkey. He was losing that fight via being wrestle-fudged until eventually he cracked the shit out of Jamie Malarkey and ended up getting the finish. This dude is really solid. I don't know how good he is. Is he Nathaniel Wood's level? I don't know, but I think there is a shot that he could win this fight. He could pull off the upset, but minus 310, I think it's there for a reason. So I'm going to trust Nathaniel Wood, but I am absolutely not going to bet it. I think this will be a very fun fight, and I think it'll tell us a lot that we need to know about Nathaniel Wood.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember, I've been a big proponent of Nathaniel Wood. He's been so frustrating to me because I feel like he has the well-rounded skill set to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
It's a fine line, between you're a guy that can do a little bit of everything, nothing stands out, and you're just fucking super well-rounded and you're good everywhere, right?
Like a guy like Bilal, right?
Like Volk,
yeah,
you know
Volk,
what I mean?
Yeah, true.
So, and what's crazy, I never thought we'd talk about Bilal like that for the striking.
Yeah, I mean, look, the thing with Bilal, and we're not to go off on a tangent, but it's just he's solid everywhere. There is nothing that sticks out.
Yeah.
He grapples the strikers.
But Bilal's grappling is so much better than Wood's comparatively.
Well, that's the thing, right? Bilal's a guy that's ranked in the top 5.
Right.
In his division, right?
So that's the difference.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
It's can you elevate it to...
Show us that.
Yeah, show us that. Show us that, when you're facing a guy who's a striking specialist, that you could just wrestle fuck him.
Yep.
Or when you're fighting a wrestler that's a dominant wrestler, show me that you're miles apart.
Show us that mismatch. Yeah. And you know what? That's so well said, dude.
Yeah.
Because Nathaniel Wood, as good as he's looked, he's never really been dominant.
Yeah.
Yep. So I agree with you. I'm going to go with Nathaniel Wood here, too. I am worried. And again, like you said, it's not one that I necessarily am running to bet.
Yeah.
Naimov, I don't really rate the Malarkey win so hard. I'm not a Jamie Malarkey fan. I'm really not. More than anything, it showed me Jamie Malarkey's even more trash than I thought he was last time out. He's got power, sure, clearly. He starts super aggressively. I've seen him gas out after half a round.
Yeah.
I've seen him just pace himself to the point where he doesn't throw punches. So which Naimov are we going to see? I think Nathaniel Wood is going to be able to implement his game plan where he does a little bit of everything. A little bit of wrestling, a little bit of striking, So
if he does win this fight, I'd like to see him win it emphatically.
He's not going to.
Yeah, I know he won't.
He won't.
Yeah.
If he wins this, it's going to be by decision, and I'm damn certain about that.
Yeah.
And if he loses, it's going to be by KO because, man, he has looked chinny at times.
Mm-hmm.
I just think this is a step down for him, man. We've seen Charles Jourdain look really good lately. He beat Charles Jourdain. Some people say it was maybe whatever, close. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge Charles Jourdain guy, but I don't know.
Yeah.
For me, the longer the fight goes on, for sure, Wood has more of a chance to win. Could Naimov chin him? Absolutely.
Yeah, and I didn't say my method, and it is obviously decision.
Decision. Yeah, I think for sure. I don't see Wood finishing it. I mean, you know what I mean. If somebody's gonna get the finish, it's gonna be Naimov. I agree with you. I am not very confident about it, but I just want to see him win, man. I just think he's the better guy. So, moving on to the fourth fight of the night, it's Anshul Jubli. Your boy is back.
Let's get it.
Your
I've been
boy
waiting, bro.
Is back.
I've been waiting.
We've been checking Tapology when's he got another fight coming up.
And then it just crept up on us.
It did. I didn't realize until I started watching film for this card. So, and he's fighting Mike Breeden. God damn it.
So Anshul Jubli, he is the only Indian, right, in the UFC.
He is.
Is he the first Indian ever in the UFC? No, he's not.
There was one other guy. I forgot his name now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he fought out of India, Indian flag.
There was one other guy.
Yeah.
And he wasn't good. I can't.
There's the heavyweight at 1, right? The heavyweight champion. The previous heavyweight champion at 1.
But there was a guy in the UFC.
Okay.
I just can't. I don't know what weight. I don't remember it. I really don't remember it. I don't want to waste time on it.
Okay, so let me ask you really quickly. Mike Breeden and Anshul Jubli, what do they drink? Is that a wild one?
I mean, Anshul Jubli is not drinking.
He might.
Anshul Jubli drinks goat milk.
Stop.
They don't do cows like that.
They gotta have some kind of like mango drink.
Oh, he drinks mango lassi.
Okay.
Oh, I love me some mango lassi.
Refreshing.
Fire. I wouldn't say refreshing.
No, but like it soothes.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say yogurt-based drinks are refreshing.
Right, but they're like to soothe the spiciness of the food.
Absolutely.
That's what they're for.
I mean, spicy in, spicy out.
Yeah.
Mike Breeden, God, he sucks, dude.
You think he sucks as like a fighter?
Just sucks so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, am I giving you something revolutionary here?
No.
Mike Breeden. I mean, let me look at his face. Oh, God, he sucks. Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke. I was
Just
gonna
some
say
boring ass shit. I don't know.
Craft beer.
No way.
You don't think he's cool enough for that?
I don't know. He sucks, dude.
Okay.
I hate that you asked me that for this one.
I mean, hey, look, it's not appropriate for the rest of the card. Is all I'm saying.
Anyway, Anshul Jubli, he's obviously coming from the Asian tournament that the UFC had.
Road to UFC.
Don't ever correct me like that. It's fine.
Saying.
You're not. I'm not like. I was being general, so the people that maybe have not caught it knew what we were. Because Road to UFC doesn't give you much.
It's on Fight Your Pass. You can check that out at any time.
It is.
Shout out Fight Your Pass.
Shout out Fala Galera. Smart.
Hey, let's go.
Jubli likes to fight behind that jab. He does have a really nice jab. He does a good job with it. He did have some nice takedowns versus Saragi.
Jaka Saragi.
Yeah, and I think I had Jeka winning that fight. Not that I knew like a ton about these guys. He dominated him on the ground pretty much, but he didn't really do any damage.
Yeah.
He looked really, really gassed after the first round of like heavy grappling. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't really think either of these guys belong at the UFC.
Okay.
So if Mike Breeden loses this, he should definitely leave.
Yeah.
This is one of the harder fights to pick on the card for me. What are the odds on this? I think the odds are outrageous. I think it's like Jubli.
It's something crazy.
It's like Jubli minus 300 or some stupid ass shit.
Jubli minus
400.
Yeah.
That is just crazy to me. I mean, I'm picking Jubli.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's going to be able to basically do what he does. Use the jab.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe get a couple takedowns in, you know. I could also see him gassing out and then Mike Breeden kind of do it, like, getting the best of him later on. It's just Mike Breeden has literally showed me nothing.
Nothing.
So, I'm going to go Jubli by decision. It's like one of the tougher fights for me. I don't want no parts of this betting-wise, dude.
Okay, so Mike Breeden 0-3 in the UFC, right? Not an easy schedule he's had. Alex Hernandez.
He lost on the Contender Series, too.
Yes, he did.
And then won like a couple
fights and got brought on, yeah. But in the UFC, lost to Alex Hernandez, Natan Levy, and our boy T-Rex. Shout out T-Rex, Terrence McKinney. Yeah. Big dub last week.
Natan Levy, not that good.
But Natan Levy's okay. He's a solid
Alex
fighter.
Hernandez, fine.
Alex Hernandez can beat anyone, and then T-Rex is going to knock your ass out in the first round.
As long as you don't get knocked out,
right.
Which you did.
So
standing, by the way. Like,
so that it just is what it is. Not an easy road here. This will probably be his easiest fight in the UFC.
100%.
Competition-wise.
No question.
Not probably. I'm sorry.
But bro, how you get knocked out standing like that? Like,
because T-Rex got that power, bro.
No, of course he does. I love T-Rex. I'm just saying, like, you don't have that much fucking something in you. Like, I'm gonna throw something back. I'm not gonna give up like this. Like, I don't know.
No, I get you. Yeah. Anyways, Anshul Jubli, he's well rounded. I guess he's got decent power. He's got good takedowns, man. He's got good control on the ground, right? That's kind of like what he's known for. He doesn't stick out anywhere. Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't stick out. I know we play this whole joke, whatever, about being a my boy and all that, and like it is what it is. But like, he's solid. Do I think he's anything special? No, I don't. But I do think he's gonna get this win here. I think he's gonna do what he does, like you said. He's gonna take things to the ground. He's gonna slow this fight down. If Breeden gets back up, which he has good, like he gets up when he gets taken down by Breeden, right? So I expect him to do that, and I expect Jubli to rush to take him back down. I believe he eventually breaks down Mike Breeden. Whether that's a late round TKO or a decision, I'm not sure on yet. Mm-hmm. I hate the odds of minus 400.
I think that's like
that speaks to just who Mike Breeden is. I think at this point, or who odds makers think Mike Breeden is.
Yeah, with those odds, I'm definitely not. Like, we joke, like, of course you, like, I'm definitely not betting this fight.
Right.
If they stay like that,
no.
I'm not betting this fight.
It's not a safe fight to bet.
No.
Yeah.
So
there's that.
Moving on to the next fight of the night, it's Sedriques Dumas versus Abu Azaitar at 185. Give me your thoughts.
All right, so Abu Azaitar, let's start there. Thick-ass boy for the weight class. He's a big, brawly dude. Yeah, short and thick. He's constantly looking for the kill shot. He gets really brawly. Dino, if this was 2 years ago,
yeah,
I'm 1,000% going with Abu Azaitar.
100%.
Like, 1,000,000%. There's
He's
no
been so
question.
inactive, though, and he's 37.
He's 37 years old. His last fight was at UFC 260.
That's crazy.
UFC 260's main event was Francis Ngannou versus Stipe Miocic 2. So Francis won the belt that night. So the last time this man fought, Francis had yet to be the champion.
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
how long ago it was, right? That's the problem here. It's the age and the time out of the octagon. Then we got SD Dumas. He's a street fighter. He throws hella heavy. He's like decently technical. He has good slams and power on his takedowns. Last time out, he beat Cody Brundage. We fully expected Cody Brundage to ragdoll him. I don't know what the hell happened with Cody Brundage, but
that was one of the more pathetic performances I've ever seen.
And it stands out, right?
Shocking.
And it stands out. That's why we're talking about it. There's been hundreds of UFC fights.
But Dino, on that
year.
note, I felt like Dumas after watching tape on him, and he had a little bit of hype. Like I feel like Sedriques Dumas' first performance versus Josh Fremd was almost just as jarring from the other side, from how bad he looked.
Exactly. So that's the reason that we were all so confident in Cody Brundage beating SD Dumas, right?
Beyond.
But here's the thing. Think about it this way. Think about how much this stands out. There's been hundreds of fights in the UFC this year. We've seen all of them. Mm-hmm. We've also watched film, 1,000 fights of film, right? And not to mention all the other cards. Like, though SD Dumas' fights stick out to me because of how, to use a word they use, jarring they were.
Yeah.
Got his ass beat. So then I expected him to get his ass beat, and like he probably should have, but like stupid mistakes were made on Cody Brundage's part. I have no idea what to make of SD Dumas, and I know that since the
how can you pretend to?
Since the first fight in the UFC, it's like I'm not confident in the guy. Watching him on Game Bread and watching him before the UFC, I remember I actually hit you up about him.
Oh, you did?
Like,
you did?
Yeah, and I was
you were
like,
the first guy that told me about him. You're like, hey, this guy's like...
This is fun, dude. Like, this guy looks fun as shit.
Like a street-ass brawler. Like,
right, I expected something big out of him. I just don't know anymore, man. He's not that good, to be honest.
You know what it is? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You finish.
I was just saying, is he that good? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Can he win? He absolutely can win. He can find a knockout. Dude's got power.
Yeah.
Like, he does have good power. He has good wrestling, too. Like, he's okay. He's just not refined. SD
I don't think he has good wrestling, personally.
SD is the favorite here.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
is fucking jarring to me to use that word again. Like, there is no way I can imagine Sedriques Dumas at this point in his career, at least, being a favorite against a guy like Abu Azaitar. I get the layoff. I get all that shit. I'm staying away from this fight stupidly hard.
Yeah, that's the main thing for me too.
I'm picking Abu Azaitar, knowing that Sedriques Dumas could just be the younger, more athletic guy that just knocks this old guy the fuck out.
I thought you were going Sedriques.
No.
I agree fully. And what I wanted to say earlier, before I so rudely interrupted you, is, or after I so rudely interrupted you, is, it's kind of what we talked about earlier. When you're in a street fight, right? Which, like, for example, when you're in a street fight, like, people don't know how to fight, like, on paper, you know? So, even if a trained fighter is in a street fight, it's like, what the fuck? Like, this guy's so different. Like, you're not expecting the things that he's throwing, right?
Right. You're looking for technical shit.
Exactly. So with Dumas, it's like, he's so raw still, especially, and it's been, like, literally one extreme to the other in his last two fights. It's like, I have no idea who he is. Is he good? I have no idea if he's good. Can he get better? I'm sure, of course he can get better. But, I don't know, man. Again, these are two back-to-back fights. Like, I don't want any parts of these. Yeah. Like you said, having lost to Josh Fremd, not a great look. He beat Cody Brundage in, like, such a weird-ass fight. I don't know. Mostly because of Sedriques Dumas. Also because Abu Azaitar's old. He's been on a layoff. I don't know what to make of it. But I guess on paper, I'm going to go with Abu Azaitar as well. I just think his experience and his composure. And I think he's just got a little bit more of that dog in him than does somebody like Cody Brundage. Yeah. I think he'll be able to pull out the decision win. I absolutely would not be shocked if it goes by knockout
the other way
to Sedriques Dumas. I get this fight. I probably want less than any fight as far as betting.
Right, and I get it. I just want to say though, Sedriques Dumas, the two fights that he had on George Masvidal's league, and then the Contender Series fight, he looked fucking unbelievable.
He looked unbelievable.
It was like, dude, wait till this guy gets refined.
But levels.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But then he didn't.
That's what I'm saying.
But I guess that's the thing that I wanted to see is like that improvement. But he didn't show it.
No, at all.
So I don't know, man. It's tough. It's a really, really tough fight. There are a couple tough fights like that on this card. This might be the worst of them all.
Yep.
So, moving on to the next fight of the night, it is Javid Basharat, one of the Basharat brothers, of course, taking on Victor Henry, who's a bit of a late bloomer, a bit of a late comer to the UFC, but has looked damn good, man. In a very skilled 135 division, bantamweight, he's looked really good. For me, I gotta go with Basharat, and I'm gonna go by decision. I think that's the safest bet because the odds, last time I checked, were pretty outrageous. Minus 425, man. Like, I don't think they should be that high.
Yeah.
I mean, Basharat is like one of those guys. Like he's a guy like Chito or even more so like Jan, right?
Okay.
Who downloads for like a round or a round or a half a round, right? So he's a very cerebral fighter. He takes the time to learn your timing and all that. You know, he did that against Mendonce, right? So who just fought recently. So, and then I guess for me too is like I don't love Tony Gravely and the fact that Victor Henry lost to him.
He won, but a split decision.
Oh, thank you. But like damn near lost to him is like, I don't know, man. Like it just doesn't look great to me. And Gravely lost to Basharat, right? If I'm not.
Tony Gravely lost to Javid Basharat. Is that what you're saying? Yes, he did.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It's not that tough for me. Could I see Victor Henry winning? Of course I could. I just think, like, Victor Henry could use his jab. I think that's his best weapon for me. And he does have good takedown defense. I just don't think he has it in him to win two. First of all, I see this fight going to decision either way.
Okay.
No question.
Yeah.
I think they're too safe. They're both going to be too, like, analyzing each other. I don't see this going. There's no way this is going to go to finish. If you're going to bet anything, bet that. But for me, Basharat is just, like, too cerebral, too smart. I see him getting the decision win here. So.
Okay. Ultimately, I agree with you. I think Javid Basharat by decision is the pick to make. I do want to say this, though. Like you said, Javid Basharat, I think the way he wins this fight is he stays safe for a while until he does get that information. Then he goes in and he kind of just dominates the rest of the fight, right?
On the ground?
Either way. I mean, yes, on the ground is the healthiest.
He's got the safer route there because
right.
I could see Henry
That's what I'm
landing
saying.
but more shots on the feet.
If Victor Henry wants to win this fight, he needs to keep it on the feet.
Yeah.
Javid Basharat can win the fight on the feet, but I think it's easier for him to win it on the ground. I don't think Victor Henry can win this on the ground.
I don't think so either.
I will say this, though. When Victor Henry came to the UFC, I'm not going to lie. This is a guy that was older. This is a guy that had been around for a while.
Same.
And I had never seen Victor Henry.
Me neither, but I was excited about him. And I was like, damn, I wish he was younger.
And a lot of these guys, Dino, I like know about them when they get to the UFC, these like middle-aged kind of dudes. I had no idea who this guy was. So my first experience with him before watching film was at UFC 270. Dude was impressive as hell against Ioni Barcelos.
Yep.
That was a very impressive fight.
And that wasn't like super old.
No.
Ioni Barcelos. That wasn't like his last fight, right?
I mean, it was what?
like
2 years ago,
2
last
years.
January.
So,
It's
like,
right there.
Yeah.
January of last year. Look, I think Javid Basharat is a pretty safe pick here.
You like him better than his brother?
Yeah, this is the better one.
Yeah.
This is the better one. This is the serious Basharat brother.
Yeah.
Not that the other one's bad. The other one's good too, but he's not quite as good, in my opinion.
What's the other one?
Fareed Basharat.
That's the younger one? That's the older one.
I don't know about their age, but
Okay.
yeah.
True. Okay, so we agree. So far we've only disagreed on.
No, we haven't disagreed.
Oh, we haven't disagreed.
Yeah, we're still on the same page here.
Ooh,
So
I don't like that.
we'll see what happens.
All right. Moving on to the next fight of the night. It's Muhammad Yahya.
Yeah.
Unrelated apparently to my news.
To Ioni. Or no.
To
Who's
Ronnie
it?
Yahya.
Yeah, Ronnie Yahya.
I thought for sure.
Hani Yahya. Sorry.
And then I realized when you pointed out he's Brazilian.
Yeah.
I'm like, how the fuck is that possible? Anyway, he's taking on just a madman and everybody's boy. Let's be real.
Facts.
Trevor Peek.
Facts.
Give me your thoughts.
All right, Trevor Peek versus Muhammad Yahya. Muhammad Yahya, he's making his UFC debut. He's fighting out of Abu Dhabi. He is, besides Khamzat Chimaev, and I guess to a certain extent Islam Makhachev, his
By the way,
camp.
I'm sorry. Did you see that Khamzat is no longer
Swedish. Right, he's no longer Swedish.
What's his name? What's that little man child from Chechnya? What's his name?
Hezbollah? Who are we talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
What's his name?
Hezbollah? Hezbollah?
Hezbollah?
Hezbollah? Hezbollah? Hezbollah? Hezbollah? Hezbollah? Hezbollah? Hezbollah? Hezbollah? Hezbollah? Hezbollah? Who are we talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Who's the man-child?
That's a literal man-child.
All right.
We're gonna get demonetized. We were never monetized. So, no, I'm talking about Ramzan, like the fucking leader of Chechnya.
Yeah. Okay. What
like,
about?
I don't know if you knew it. Like, look into that guy. He's a
No, I know.
He's a man-child.
Yeah.
But like, he's just like, it's like basically if you had a country to run. Like, so he's like, brother, you will come. You will be like, you will support this, and he's like, Sweden. Sweden never really made sense anyway. Let's be honest. But
there's some shit going on with Khamzat Chimaev. And I don't know if we're gonna get into it in this video. But
we shouldn't.
There's a lot of shit going on. Anyways, I was gonna say Muhammad Yahya. He is fighting out of Abu Dhabi. I believe Khamzat Chimaev now is fighting out of Abu Dhabi, and Islam's camp is in Abu Dhabi, but he fights out of Dagestan, right? He fights out of Russia. So this is actually like a local guy. Anyways, he's a good striker. He has that like traditional karate stance. He's pretty hittable though. He likes to get brawly for a guy that fights the way like he stands. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Technically, he is pretty decent. I think he's better than Trevor Peek technically in damn near every aspect of mixed martial arts. Yeah, technically, except for maybe power and heart, because that's all Trevor Peek is made of is like dog and power and heart. Trevor Peek's balls to the wall, man. He swings for the fences. He's got good takedowns when like shit's getting sloppy. There's nothing pretty about Trevor Peek. Like, there is nothing pretty about the way he fights. The dude just goes out there and swings for the fences, and it's fun as shit to watch.
Super fun.
It's like a nice break from like this like technical back and forth, like chess match.
And that's the guy you want to show your friends who don't watch UFC.
We always talk about Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler, right? This is like diet Justin Gaethje.
And potentially, like, to the untrained eye, funner than all of them.
Probably, right? Because he's less technical than all those guys.
Literally.
Yeah.
He's fighting like it's a street fight.
Yeah. So, to me, I think breaking this fight down is very difficult because it's two guys that are unproven, that are down to get into a brawl.
It's the equivalent of, like, if we go out right now.
Yeah, just start
and we go to River
eyes.
North.
Yeah.
And we see two guys brawling. And I'm like, this guy's gonna win.
Right.
Like, who knows, bro? Like,
so that's what's going on here. I think it's gonna be a disaster of a fight. I think it's gonna be wild as shit. It's gonna be scrappy. It's gonna be fast paced.
Also, wild that they put Trevor Peek in Abu Dhabi. Like, that's kind of wild.
Yeah, that is pretty reckless. The post fight speech, if he wins, is gonna be a little wild. It's gonna go towards what like Beneil was doing, but probably amplified times 5. Anyways, I think this is gonna be wild as shit. I'm going Trevor Peek. I think he's going to find Muhammad Yahya's chin at some point. Round 2 KO.
I hate that we agree again, but I agree too. I agree too. More than anything, for the sake that Muhammad Yahya is in his hometown. I've seen him get a little brawly as it is, to not his benefit. Now you're fighting the brawliest guy there is. Adrenaline's going to be pumping. You're in front of the hometown crowd. He's going to get too brawly, and he's going to get caught. Because if you play that game with Trevor Peek, you could play it a little bit like Chepe Mariscal did the last time out. And for the record, I had Chepe winning that. Not many people did.
Yeah.
But
Chepe's just different, man.
Yeah.
We don't need to get into it, but Chepe Mariscal is like, dude, he is so good, man. Like, I think he's criminally underrated.
Yeah. I think the only way that Yahya could win this is if he survives and uses his cardio, weaponizes the cardio.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. I don't see it. I'm going Trevor Peek by KO. What did you say, round
2?
I like 2.
Yeah.
I like round 2. We've continued to agree. I don't love it. But moving on to the next fight of the night, it's Tim Elliott versus Muhammad Mokaev. And, man, this is a goddamn good fight.
Love the matchmaking.
This is a really good fight.
This is perfect matchmaking.
Oh, such
perfect matchmaking.
There is some sketchy matchmaking on this card as it is.
Yeah.
And often there is in these Abu Dhabi cards.
Or any themed card.
Or any themed card, but especially, I would say, the Abu Dhabi cards. Tim Elliott is such a live dog here for me. What are the odds on this right now, though, Dino?
Minus 200, I think. I'm going to check for you. Minus 490.
I was going to say, that is...
Yeah, minus 490 for
That
Muhammad
is
Mokaev.
so
That's
crazy to me. I'm certainly not putting that on any parlay.
No.
Listen, first of all, I don't know what Mokaev tore in his last fight. If he did anything, he must have had his knee shredded. How did he not? But to me, Mokaev was so hyped, right?
Wow.
And he has gone tooth and nail, bro. He's gone tooth and nail fighting with guys who you would think are below him. They're good fighters. But he's not out here dominating these guys. For me, Tim Elliott seems like there's a period in his career where he wasn't healthy. He had a lot of injury. I know the record. If you look at the record, it's not, was it 12-9?
19-12.
Or yeah, I knew there was 9-12 in there somewhere.
8-10 in the UFC.
I know, and it's 8-10 in the UFC. Fuck. That's so bad.
I mean, but look at the guys, man. Mateus Nicolau, Brandon Royval, Oscar Askarov when he was undefeated, Davison Figueiredo, Mighty Mouse. Like, dude, how are you going to beat those guys?
Nah, you're right.
Nobody's beating those guys.
You're right. You're right. And,
Joe
he was injured.
Yeah. John Dodson, like, the top of the food chain guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's tough.
This is another tough one, man. It's another tough one for me. I guess it's the fact that Mokaev, who's so highly taught, but he's so young still. And I don't know. I don't think he has that dog in him. Like, I feel like Tim Elliott has that dog in him. He's been in so many rough fights. Mokaev, again, respect to him for, like, dude, he should have tapped with that knee bar.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Like, unbelievable, you know? So I'm not taking that away from him. It's just, man, I think I'm leaning Tim Elliott in this one. Like, I just think, like, the guys that he's had dog fights with, Tim Elliott, this version of Tim Elliott could potentially beat, you know? I'm excited to see, and I hope that he keeps it up, you know? He showed good cardio, good durability. I think it just comes down to that dog in him, you know? Mokaev's last 3 wins were just...
I mean, but did Mokaev not show you that he has that dog in him by not tapping?
No.
You know?
It's different. Yeah. That's what I was trying to say, right? I think it's different, right?
Okay.
He has that dog in him and, like, he has that resilience, but, like, I don't think he has enough of that. Like, Tim Elliott's going to go get it.
Yeah.
Whereas Mokaev's not going to tap, right? Like, and I respect that just as much. I just think matchup-wise... I don't know. I just think Mokaev, as hyped as he is, he's had too tough of a time with the last 3 guys that he's fought where I didn't expect it. He was a massive favorite.
Yeah.
And now you're fighting the best fighter that you fought.
And you're a massive favorite again.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So, I just want to say, as a disclaimer, I think part of the reason I'm taking Tim Elliott here is, and again, like another disclaimer, it's a super close fight.
Yeah.
So I think, but the reason I'm picking Tim Elliott, I think a big part of it is because the odds are so heavy in Mokaev's favor.
Right, I get
so there is a bit of that. So I just think Tim Elliott's going to outwork him and win 2 rounds, man. I think it's going to be a super tough fight.
29-28.
There's no world where this is a landslide one way or another. Does Mokaev fight down to his opponents? We'll see, man.
Maybe.
So I know the UFC wants Mokaev to win, so we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna go 29-28. Or even split this. I'm gonna go split decision.
Interesting. In Abu Dhabi.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
fuck, you're right. I didn't take that into consideration.
That's a part of it. You got to weigh that.
It is a goddamn part of it. I don't want to go back on my decision now. I don't want to go back on it now. I'm gonna go Tim Elliott. But goddamn it, now you're tweaking my ass out.
All right.
But yeah, close fight.
So in a close fight, you got to weigh those kind of things. Sad to say, but that's just what it is on
you're right. I gotta go with Mokaev. I'm sorry. I have to because now you with you bringing that up, I think that was I was so close.
Yeah, they're not gonna.
I think Tim Elliott is better right now.
Yeah,
but Mokaev can improve, and yes, it's the Abu Dhabi factor.
So here's what I'm gonna say: Tim Elliott, he is a dog. He's a seasoned vet. Very good ground game, slick as hell, unrelenting as shit. On the feet, he's not technical, but he's wild as hell. He looks sloppy on the feet. We saw that against Tagir Ulanbekov, but he's just, like, he's going to go get it. Like you said, he's going to go get it. With Muhammad Mokaev, I think we learned a lot about him in these last few fights, right? The people you were talking about, Charles Johnson, he took him to decision.
Trash.
Charles Johnson, like,
trash.
Yeah, okay.
Trash. No, trash.
You know what I mean?
Not even okay.
He's okay.
Nope.
You don't think so?
Just trash.
Okay, well, he struggled with Malcolm Gordon. He ended up losing that fight. And then, who's next? And then Jafel Filio. Jafel Filio...
Better than we thought, though.
Right, better than we thought, but he basically ripped his leg off his body. Tim Elliott is going to be the best competition that he's faced today.
Yeah.
We have somebody entering the room. Don't
worry about it.
Yeah, don't mind that. But Tim Elliott is going to be the best competition that he's faced to date. I think at some point, we're going to see Muhammad Mokaev get badly exposed by somebody at the top. There's this whole thing. He has the whole like
But
narrative.
he's so young though.
He has the whole narrative, Dino, where he's trying to be the like next youngest UFC champion or whatever the case is. He's going to remain undefeated till he gets the belt. I no longer buy that shit.
He's pushing it too hard.
I no longer buy it.
Just focus on yourself. Focus on improving, bro.
Because if you're struggling with Charles Johnson and Jafel Filio, what's going to happen when we throw Muhammad Mokaev in there with Brandon Royval? And when we throw him in with, Davison Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno and Alexander Pantoja. And what's going to happen?
They would wreck him, bro.
That's what I'm saying, right?
I just want to say, I'm sorry. I'm going back to Tim Means.
Tim Elliott.
Good God.
Shout out the Dirty Bird. Shout out to
I'm going back to Tim Elliott.
Yeah.
Because it's still so close.
Yeah.
And I really do feel there's something to be said about that.
Yeah.
With your Abu Dhabi point.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that we haven't disagreed all card. I gotta go Tim Elliott.
Okay, fair. So, anyways, look, man, I think at some point Mokaev is going to get badly exposed by one of these top guys.
You think he could be champ?
Kai Kara France. I think he can be in the future.
Right now, those top guys...
So that's what I'm saying, right? And he wants to be champion within the next year from now.
He won't.
But that's the timetable that's being fucking pushed to us.
I think that's just like
that's not true.
Abu Dhabi thing. Like, I will for my...
right. I'm just saying.
Like, you're not.
That ain't happening. He might be champ later on. It's not right now. He's going to get exposed. It may not be right now, but this will be an absolute dogfight. It will be damn close. I have to trust Muhammad Mokaev to win the decision here, especially due to the fact that it's in Abu Dhabi, and if it's in any way, shape, or form close, they're giving him the decision. I feel like we spent a lot of time talking about that fight, but it's important because that is a high-level prospect.
It is.
And it needed to be said.
It is, and you're right, but we did spend a lot. This is going to be a long video. I don't know what the fuck that was, excuse me. But it's going to be a long video. Listen, if you're already here still, you're freaking watching.
Just vibe a little bit.
And if you're not, you're not. And if you're here still, then you like this shit.
Yeah, then do us the favor, click the thumbs up, ring the damn bell, leave a comment, let us know what you think about Muhammad Mokaev. Will he be champion? Nobody's going to leave us a comment on that because nobody...
What do you think he drinks?
Yeah, water and like Fresca.
Hey, I know now why you asked me about the other guys.
Yeah, well, I told you. It doesn't make... You can't do it for the rest of the card.
Because they're Muslim.
You said it, brother. I didn't.
For the record, I've got a lot of Muslim family members. I'm not talking down on them. Hey. I'm just saying. But clearly I am not of the non-alcohol partaking.
Cheers to that.
And there it goes. So anyway, moving on to the next fight of the night. It's Saeed, a.k.a. Said. Smart.
He said.
Nurmagomedov versus Muin Gafurov.
All right.
What do you think about that?
I think a lot. I'd
love to hear it.
Yeah. Saeed Nurmagomedov, he is not related to Khabib and them.
Yeah.
This is the one that's not their cousin.
Do you think he has a cuter haircut than the rest of them?
He's trying.
He's got a little cuter haircut.
He's trying. He's got better hair than I do.
But, it's okay. But you had nice haircuts when you had hair.
I did. Thank you.
Yeah.
That means a lot to me. Anyways, Saeed Nurmagomedov, contrary to the last name, like I said, he's not related to those guys, nor does he fight like those guys.
Tajik?
He is an absolute striker. He is long-bodied. He's a flashy striker. He has head kicks, Dino, that come out of absolutely nowhere.
Absolutely. You would think in a country with that many people, though, they would have more options of last names.
Yeah, but no, that's just... They got like 6 names. They use them.
Yeah.
It's very, like, efficient.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But anyways, he's a great striker, man. The kicks are disguised very well. They're dangerous. Defensively, he's got really good wrestling.
Yes.
Offensively, it's damn near not existent.
Yep.
But he's a pretty good fighter. I feel like,
you're saying?
Yeah, I feel like Saeed Nurmagomedov, we kind of know who he is at this point. He's a good striker with good defensive grappling, and he's going to fight well against guys that he should beat. Like, he's comfortably within that, like, 10 to 15 range in the division.
You think so?
Yeah, and I think he's not better than the guys ahead of him, and I think he's better than the guys behind him, and I think he's appropriately placed. He is fighting Muin Gafurov. Muin Gafurov, he is a wrestler. He is very brawly. He's kind of like vintage, right? He's kind of like that typical wrestler from like 2008 UFC, 2007 UFC. He's a wrestler with power, comes in swinging wild overhand shit, like ready to overswing to get into a takedown. That's kind of his game. He overextends a lot, man, and he can get brawly, and he does leave himself open as hell. To me, this is striker versus grappler. But Muin doesn't necessarily rely on his wrestling as much as I think he should. I think if he did rely strictly on wrestling, there is a chance that he could beat Saeed Nurmagomedov. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he likes to play the stand-up game a little too much, which is a bad game to play with Nurmagomedov. Also, taking like a stupid shot, a wayward shot, leaving your neck out there. Said Nurmagomedov has like crazy guillotines.
Yeah, I was going to say that. He's not like nobody on the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
He's got very good defensive grappling, and he's got some sub skills, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Said Nurmagomedov gets a sub here. That is something I'm going to sprinkle a bet on, and I bet the odds will be good on that. But I'm going to take him by decision here, Said Nurmagomedov.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to go Said Nurmagomedov by decision.
Can you say that 3 times fast?
Said Nurmagomedov. Said Nurmagomedov. I can't do it. Muin Gafurov. Okay, that's easy.
That's easier. Yeah.
Said Nurmagomedov. Okay, I can't do it. Okay, and usually I'm pretty good at bet. I can't talk anymore now. I just ruined everything.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Have a good night, guys. Like it, subscribe, all that shit. The bell, hit it and like it. Slap it on the base. For me, yeah, I agree with you, bro. I know Nurmagomedov just lost to Jonathan Martinez, but Jonathan Martinez is damn good.
He's good.
It was a really close fight. And Jonathan Martinez, like in my opinion, put like the best performance of his life on in that fight. So, yeah, Gafurov, I don't believe in him like that. I don't think he's the caliber of even Jonathan Martinez, to be quite honest with you.
Jonathan Martinez is now ranked in like the top 5.
I know.
Pretty much, right?
Whoa, is he?
I mean, he was like, what number was he this week when he won? He was like 9 or 10 or something like that.
Yeah, he's close. He's close.
He's
You're right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think he's the level of Jonathan Martinez. And I think Jonathan Martinez doesn't get the respect that he deserves. I think Nurmagomedov should roll here, honestly.
Yeah.
I see him piecing him up on the feet. I think he'll get a 30-27 decision.
Yeah, I think it does stay on the feet for the most part, by the way.
I think so, too. Yeah,
and that's how I think the decision
I don't see it going to the ground.
Yeah.
Also, is this the only versus
no
fight?
There's more. Co-main. What are we talking about?
The co-main?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about like straight like either Russian or
no. Well, yeah, then yes.
Or Arab dudes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's two Arab dudes.
Well, the next fight was supposed to be Ikram Aliskerov versus.
That's right. Okay, that's why I was
Nasruddin Imavov, right?
Imavov, yeah. Which I would have much rather seen than Warlley Alves.
Yeah.
But so good. So this is the only fight that's like,
let's move to it.
2 regional guys.
Hey.
Anyway, the next fight of the night it's Ikram Aliskerov versus Warlley Alves.
Warlley. As opposed to Wally. Or
you think that's his brother?
Wally
Alves?
Was that a guy?
Huh?
Is that even a guy?
I don't know. For me, this is a pretty straightforward one. Ikram Aliskerov, I think they've done like the Alex Pereira thing with him, right? Where they're like, is he Alex Pereira? And then like I know Khamzat beat him, but they're like Khamzat, like a close fight, like kind of he stuffed one takedown versus Khamzat and got. He's a highlight on his record. You know what I mean?
Like Gilbert Burns did, just for the record, Gilbert Burns did
way better. Oh, than this guy? Oh my God, way better.
Against Khamzat.
Oh, it's not even close, dude. And a way bigger promotion. We're not even touching on that. But, yeah, I don't know. For me, Warlley Alves, when he came back from injury, like 2021, he beat the shit out of Munir Lazzez, who was kind of like highly touted when he came in at the time. Mm-hmm. Looked really good. He lost his last 2 fights. Was his last fight versus Dalby?
Yes. UFC 283.
That was one of our first cards, I want to say. Was it?
January, yeah. It was the first
Maybe
pay-per-view.
Our first...
It was the first pay-per-view we did.
Dude, that was...
No, we didn't even do that card. That was the hidden episode.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I
remember going...
For me, I just think Warlley Alves is a shell of what he could have been or used to be. Aliskerov, I don't think he's like what they're building him to be. Mm-hmm. He knocked out Phil Hawes. Phil Hawes, we've seen him stumbling, mumbling like many times. Yeah. Somebody that jacked shouldn't be flopping around like that. But for me, Aliskerov definitely has a higher ceiling. He's got way more power. I think he's gonna actually be the faster, like striking wise fighter too. I gotta go with him, man. I think this is one of the easier fights of the night for me. The odds last time I checked were minus like 400. What are they now?
Good question. Minus 400.
Yeah, this is a straightforward one.
Yeah,
I don't know if he gets the. I guess I'll go by TKO early third round, but I could see it by decision. I wouldn't pick the method on this one. But I'm pretty confident Aliskerov winning this one.
Yeah, okay, so there's a couple things, right? With Warlley Alves, you have to mention, first and foremost, he does have a win over Colby Covington. They were both undefeated.
I knew you were going to say that.
Just saying, you got to always throw that out there with him, right? I feel like Warlley Alves, Dino, is like 39 years old.
Yeah.
He's younger than us. So there's that. But
whoa, dude, hold on. In my mind, that you know what's crazy about that is I told myself that point.
Yeah.
Like, yo, this dude's not as old as you think.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it didn't click that he's younger than me.
So there it is, right?
I haven't taken as many shots to the face, though.
That's facts. Taken quite a few, but not that many. That's good, man. But anyways, Warlley Alves. He's on a 2-fight losing streak right now, right? Last time out, it was that Nicholas Dalby fight. He lost a close split decision there. It was a good fight after a long-ass layoff. Let's not get it twisted, man. He is a jiu-jitsu guy, but he loves to brawl. Like, I don't know what it is about these, like, wrestlers that fall in love with their hands, or these jiu-jitsu guys.
You know what it is. You get a knockout.
I mean, I know what it is, but
and
like...
then it's like, fight your best.
Right. Shout out, fight your best. Stick to your bread and butter, dude. But anyways, look, dude, how are you going to trust Warlley Alves to beat Ikram Aliskerov on short notice across the world?
Yep.
It's just, like, too much.
I forgot to mention that. Thank you. The short notice thing. Also, I just want to say, where the fuck did you, like, where did you find the name Warlley?
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Warlley.
I used to use Wario in Mario Kart.
That's what I thought of.
Yeah, of course.
But it's like, but who the thought of Warlley?
I don't know.
That's not. There's no way that's a traditional, like, Brazilian name.
I doubt it.
Warlley?
Yeah, I've never heard it. But I do want to say this, though. Ikram Aliskerov, yes, he is highly touted. We know the one loss is to Khamzat. I wanted to know about him. I wanted to see how good he was. And I think a fight versus Nasruddin Imavov would have been like a really...
more telling.
Dude, it would have been way more telling and way more interesting.
About both of them.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure how good Imavov is.
That's what I'm saying. But we know for a fact that Nasruddin Imavov is a crisp-ass striker. And we know
he can at least stand with Sean Strickland.
Right.
Like,
he's a crisp-ass striker. He's got good range management. He's long. He's tall. We know Ikram Aliskerov is a wrestler. The one time we've seen him slumped was by a long-ass striking dude. It would have told us a lot about these two guys. And I think for Ikram Aliskerov, you got to remember, he's been given like a huge opportunity versus Nasruddin Imavov to hop into the top 10.
He had no business. What was even his first? Phil Hawes was another like tailor-made fight.
Right. So this was an opportunity to get him into the top 10. Beating Warlley Alves doesn't do that for you in this day and age, right? So
not even close.
Props to him, I guess, for continuing on with this fight, but this should be a layup. I'm going round 2 TKO. Yeah. Warlley Alves' cardio is notoriously shit.
You're right.
So especially coming off the couch, I can't imagine how good it's going to be.
You know what? I agree. Yeah. It's going to be earlier than I said. If it was Imavov,
I'm taking Nasruddin Imavov.
I think I would too.
Yeah, I'm taking Nasruddin Imavov.
It would be super close though.
Yeah, I would pick him by decision.
I think I would too. Yeah. Piecing him up on the feet, just being more technical.
Uh-huh.
And having that more of that experience. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, for sure. I was very curious about that. So,
yeah, but I wanted to see it.
I much rather than this.
Yeah.
I mean, this will still be probably potentially a fun fight, you know, but. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Anyway, moving on to the 11th fight of the night, and this is obviously like the tri-co-main event, basically.
Yeah, I like these last 3 fights.
These are, I mean, who doesn't? You know,
yep.
This is the one of the 3 that actually stayed the same. Yep. It's Magomed Ankalaev, not to be confused with Magomedov or Muhammad. It's Magomed Ankalaev at 205, taking on Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker.
You know, bam, bam. Again,
yeah.
You got Brazilian guys named Warlley Alves,
yeah.
Mateus Mendonça,
and then a guy named after Scotch.
Johnny Walker.
Right. Gilbert Burns.
The fat lesbian, as Connor would say. He did say literally yesterday, yeah. Which I thought was hilarious. If you didn't, just Google that. It's fine. But yeah. What do you think about this one?
All right. To me, very interesting. I think these last...
fat lesbians?
Love them. I think these last 3 fights are very interesting.
I knew that about you.
All right, Magomed Ankalaev, he is very good. I truly believe that on any given night, he can beat the best 205ers on the planet. That's my boy Yuri Prochazka.
So you're picking Walker.
That's your boy Jamal Hill.
Nope.
That's Jan. That's Alex Poatan Pereira. I think he can beat those guys on a good night.
I can't wait to hear what you're getting to. Please.
All right, so I think he could beat those guys on a good night. However, of all those guys, he is the least consistent of all of those guys. I think there is a good portion of fights where he puts on a stinky-ass performance.
Well, you know what it is? It's the fact that he's like the only one of them that's like a wrestling heavy guy.
Right, but he's also like a kickboxer, and that's like his
I know, but like
I get what you're saying.
It's the last name and yeah.
Right, so he could put on a stinky ass performance. However, he only has one loss, and it was a last second submission to Paul Craig.
Yep.
Which in a fight that he would have won.
And Paul Craig does that.
And Paul Craig be doing that, right? That's Paul Craig.
That's his whole thing.
That's what he does. So this guy's basically undefeated.
Yeah.
But man, he has like this keen ass neck for putting on some stupid ass fights and like sometimes fighting down to his competition and making fights closer than they need to be.
Get to it, please. I need to know where you're going with this. God damn it.
We've seen him fucking sell out in these main big ass moments. We saw it against Jan. We saw it in the main event that he had before that. Hold on. I just want to say, he is strong as hell. He has really good striking, really good grappling.
Terrible haircut.
He
got the 7 all around.
He does have that. He controls his range very well. And I need to preface real quick. This isn't a shot at him.
You're teasing me.
This is not a shot at him. But sometimes his fights are boring as hell, and that can lend itself to a decision being given the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you put on a boring-ass performance, right? Because a guy like Johnny Walker, he's going to throw wild, flashy shit, right? And let's say that Ankalaev is outstriking Johnny Walker by 8 per round. The wild shit that Johnny Walker lands
is going to be way more heavily weighted
in the judge's eyes, right? Because this guy has that sometimes.
Don't forget, Dana literally did unprecedented shit because of Ankalaev.
Because of his performance. Yeah. And the main event...
Which I don't think was fair. I just want to say.
And who was the main event that he fought right before that? There was a main event that he fought right before that. The Thiago Santos fight.
Thiago Santos beat the shit out of him.
Like, dude, that was...
Thiago Santos fucked him up, dude.
That was beyond boring.
Beyond boring, but Thiago Santos got the best of him.
That's what I'm saying, right? And then Jan Blachowicz, like, I don't know what you think about that decision, but, like, Jan chopped his legs up. Anyways, I'm just saying that, like, you could fuck around and lose a fight that you should have won fighting the style that Ankalaev fights. Johnny Walker is very flashy, exciting. That could weigh heavier in the judge's eyes. The thing that we notice that Ankalaev struggles with, besides the fact that he puts on some boring-ass fights, is the leg kicks. Johnny Walker can kick the shit out of your leg. I'm saying if Johnny Walker comes in and makes this sloppy and makes this fast as hell, because Ankalaev is a slow starter, this is a 3-rounder as opposed to the 5-rounders he's been fighting, he might need to catch up quickly.
Dino, you're killing me.
I'm just pointing out.
I just want to hear what you have, because you're teasing me right now. My pussy's wet, bro.
I'm trying to tease.
Let me hear it.
Stick it in.
Stick it in.
Stick it in. You ready?
If you go on Ankalaev now, I'm gonna be so fucking mad.
Are you ready?
Dude. I'm ready.
I'm going Johnny Walker with the upset.
Let's go.
I'm going Johnny Walker with the upset.
Let's fucking go, dude.
Let's get it.
For the record, me and Dino have not discussed any of this card before. Oh, we have discussed it, period. Because I haven't seen him in like 3 weeks since my dog passed. But I couldn't believe, I did not, coming in today, I did not think at all you would say, by what? How?
Decision. Johnny Walker by decision. Because I think the first round, he's going to clearly win it because Ankalaev's going to start slow.
Yes, I agree.
He's going to start slow. Johnny Walker in his last fight, Dino, got shit against Anthony Smith because he didn't go for the kill when he was clearly winning the fight. I think he's going to be clearly winning the fight, and he's going to turn it up a notch going into the second and third round, and it might be too late. If Ankalaev would just pick that shit up early, he really should win this fight. Yeah. Like, he really should. But he plays dumb. He's not smart, dude. That's the thing that's why I'm picking this guy. If he plays it smart, he should win this fight 9 out of 10 times.
I'm so shook.
Yeah.
I can't believe you picked Johnny Walker. I thought I was doing some shit because I am also picking goddamn Johnny Walker.
That's crazy.
Johnny Walker is going to get the TKO finish, maybe, but potentially decision, but he's going to get the goddamn win. Listen, I get it. Johnny Walker, first of all, you got to remember how highly touted he was. You got to remember how big of a
people just remember the.
I know, and
sloppy ass
listen,
knockouts.
And bro, you do too.
Of course I do.
Because what the fuck was going on there?
I don't know.
Like that felt like something, you know.
Because if there's this anywhere, it's in Abu Dhabi.
So who knows, right? But I just think he finds a big connection, man. I just think.
That
first
would
of all,
be wild.
Ankalaev, as like highly touted as he is, as like a well-rounded like grappler and all this shit, Johnny Walker's huge. Remember, he was a heavyweight. Yeah. People forget how big Johnny Walker is. Johnny Walker is the type to. He did this to Anthony Smith. He'll literally take he's on the fence because that's what Ankalaev really wants to do, right? Mm-hmm. He doesn't have a lot of offensive. Truly, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like grappling.
Yeah.
He wants to hold you against the fence. Put you in the clinch.
Control.
You're not doing that.
He's a controller.
You're not doing that against Johnny Walker. You're just not, bro. He's going to be bigger than him. He's not going to sit there and hold him against the cage. He's just not going to do that, bro. Yeah. There's no way he's going to manhandle Johnny Walker and do that. I don't see it. I'm sorry. What are the odds on this one? They got to be crazy.
They got to be wild, right? Let's see. It is minus 345 for Ankalaev.
I love and I hate that you agreed because we've agreed on a lot.
Because look,
and again,
he should win.
We never compared notes before.
Ankalaev should win.
He should,
but he's susceptible to a lot
of
shit.
Bro, if it stays on the feet, I just want to say, I was super high on Johnny Walker as a prospect, and then I was like, "Yo, what is wrong with this guy? Is he throwing fights because of the weird knockouts?"
Yeah,
and then I was like. And then, I don't know, man. He's won me back with his last few performances. He's back. I think he's learned something. I think the chin is not as suspect as we thought, potentially. We'll see. Could I absolutely see him get knocked out? Of course I could.
Yeah.
You see that twice, 2-3 times. That's enough, you know? But, man, I'm going with my gut feeling. I think he finds a connection. I'm going to go second round, ground and pound.
And what a shakeup that would be to 205, which is already in shambles. Which is already.
How can you dislike Johnny Walker?
No,
I would love to see it.
Love Johnny Walker.
So
let's move on.
Anyway, moving on to the co-main event of the evening. Unbelievable. This was a fight that me and you talked about privately. That we want to see this, and I remember back then.
And I'm sure they did. This was a fight that people really needed to see a while ago.
You know what? Because what it was. Because obviously after Khamzat and Gilbert and all this, and then it's like Khamzat's moving up. You always knew he was going to rise up the rankings quickly.
Yes.
But it was one of those where it was like he looks so good, and he looks so well rounded. It's like we got to see him versus Kamaru Usman,
who was the unquestioned best in the world at that time.
Yep.
That's a point that. I know, we all know, but I really want to make that point, right? 14 months ago, before he's cut from a different cloth, Leon Edwards, head kick, knockout, all that shit. Kamaru Usman going
unbeatable
into the last minute of that fifth round, he was unbeatable. He was the boogeyman. People were like, is he better than GSP? Is this the best welterweight we've ever seen in our lives?
Bro, people were literally saying that openly. Yeah. I never wanted to even have a part of that conversation.
But it was a conversation.
I understand the conversation. For me, clearly the second best welterweight of all time.
There's that, and there's also the fact that Kamaru Usman a year and 2 months ago was the best champion we had in the UFC.
And not only that, Dino, he was always a good grappler and a well-rounded fighter.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, he found power. He knocked the Jorge Masvidal knockout.
It's violent.
Is it top 10 all time in UFC? Of course,
dude,
it has to.
Stakes considered, yes. Stakes considered for sure. I mean, it is a very clean
but just
hand.
Dude,
it was shocking.
The fact that all the shit and the spit, the fact that he's not a knockout artist, and he found a one-shot knockout on Masvidal.
I mean, even Masvidal says whatever. I got knocked out. It was the first time in my career, but whatever. He's like. But it just sucks that that guy did it.
Yeah.
It was that guy that did it to me. I didn't even think that guy could do that.
Bro, before that shot, I didn't think he had power like that.
Yeah, I mean, yep.
Am I taking this one? I'm taking this one.
If you want to.
Yeah. For me, all the things that we've just said, not taken away from Kamaru Usman. He's 37 now? 37 years old. Did not look like the Kamaru
36.
an old 36.
Mm-hmm.
When you're the champ, everybody gives you their best, right?
Yeah.
He's had iffy moments versus Colby. He got dropped by Gilbert Burns. He's moving up to 185 now.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's been talked about enough in the media. Sure, we always wanted to, we thought we'd see this fight, maybe, hopefully. Okay, I remember vividly, last time me and you talked about this fight.
Mm-hmm.
We basically talked about it like, I think you said.
Yeah.
You said, I think Kamaru's going to retire. Because we assumed...
He would beat Leon.
Sorry, real quick. I think we assumed that Chimaev would just keep moving up.
Yeah.
And it would come a point where, like, you have to fight this guy.
Yes.
And then you thought he would retire.
Yeah.
So, on that, I just want to say respect to him.
Yeah. Because
he's going out of his way
to fight this guy.
And, okay, let's be real. I am sure. We don't know the numbers. Yeah. I'm sure he's getting silly paid out.
Yeah.
Okay? For me, fighting at 185 for the first time ever? Or in a hot-ass minute, at least.
Yeah.
Didn't look amazing versus Colby. Got dropped by Gilbert Burns. Looked like he was slowing down, genuinely. Looked like he was a shell of himself. Leon is a good fighter. I'm not taking that away from Leon. But didn't look great. I commend him for taking it. Khamzat has the power advantage. I think Khamzat has the offensive wrestling advantage. Khamzat is a great counter-striker. Usman has injuries piling up, has had a broken hand twice, has had knee injuries, has taken some time off. I think all the things, I think it's pretty obvious here, man. If you're picking Usman, in my opinion, you're a diehard Usman fan. There is no way he wins this fight, in my opinion. It's tailor-made, and because of that, I commend him even more, so I'm sure they must have paid the shit out of him. Mm-hmm. Khamzat Chimaev's going to win this fight. I almost went first round TKO. I'm going to go like within the first 45 seconds of the second round TKO.
Okay, so second round TKO.
Like Khamzat is comfortably beating up on his ass in the first round. Mm-hmm. Usman comes out, and he knows at this point doesn't really want it, and gets knocked out early second round.
Okay. So to me, every time I think about this fight, when I visualize it, I feel like Khamzat's going to walk Usman down and then quickly either knock his ass out or like take him, slam him down and sub him, right? Like, it's messed up that in my head that's the image I have because it's Kamaru.
Have we ever seen Kamaru Usman on his back, like defensive wrestling?
Once against Leon. The one time he was taken down in the UFC.
Second fight.
No, in the first fight, in the first round. The one time we've ever seen
Leon
Kamaru
took him down in the first round.
Remember, they were in a clinch, and he like tripped him and landed in mount, and then he rode out the first round, right?
I know, but Leon's not like
right, but it just happened.
Have we ever seen him against like?
No, he's never been taken down. Besides that,
by the way, this is the first time Usman is in his career an underdog since Tyron Woodley.
Interesting, but yeah, look, Kamaru Usman, Dino. He's at his best when he's able to be the bully, when he's able to be the hammer, when he's able to be the one progressing, right? Khamzat Chimaev is also at his best when he's the one walking forward and hunting your ass down.
Yeah. And also, Dino.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You reminded me of something.
Okay.
Kamaru Usman is a physical specimen.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
At 170.
Right.
This is 185.
Right. So I mean, that does factor into it. I just want to say, though, think about this, okay? Like, Kamaru Usman is the second best welterweight of all time. If Gilbert Burns was able to give Khamzat Chimaev some trouble on the feet, not some, all he could handle on the feet.
That was such a good fight.
Gilbert Burns is a natural 155er. Kamaru Usman is a natural 170. We've seen Gilbert Burns and Usman striking, and Usman knocked his ass out.
Yeah.
He was hurting him. If MMA math be mathin', then you got to factor that in a little bit, right? The thing is, Gilbert Burns is really good striking, and he has good power backing up.
Exactly.
Kamaru Usman...
You're so smart. You're so smart, dude.
Striking, and his strength comes in when he's coming in. Like when we saw him knock out Masvidal. The times we've seen him hurt Colby, he's the one stepping forward.
This guy, you guys might be looking at the premier MMA fight analyzer.
That's not true.
No, for real. That's such a good point.
But that's what it is with Kamaru Usman. He's not good necessarily striking on the way back.
No, he's not at all.
Yeah, I don't see Khamzat Chimaev not like going forward the entire time. Also, I just want to say, Khamzat Chimaev, like, if he can just dominate Kamaru Usman, I would be scared and I would be shocked.
Yeah.
Because Kamaru Usman, like, you have to give him his respect, man.
But also, bro, it's a whole 15 pounds up, man.
It is a whole 15 pounds up. I get it. Whatever. Yeah. Like, the Kamaru Usman we knew 14 months ago before the knockout, that guy seemed superhuman. That guy didn't seem real.
Before the first Leon knockout? It was like, oh, this is a joke.
That guy didn't seem real. Yeah. So it's like, to be going into this fight and be confident that guy, it's very possible he gets, like, mauled in 40 seconds is crazy to me.
Yeah. Especially after having seen Khamzat fight.
Struggle with Burns. Also, just...
especially after seeing Strickland win the title. And Leon fucking win the title and defend it.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and I know what the thought is on Leon Edwards. We're all like, oh, he's good. Like,
he's bullying your son.
He's good, but like maybe Kamaru Usman isn't done. Maybe Leon Edwards is just that good. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so, but I'm just saying.
What are the odds here?
That is a possibility. Anyways, yeah, Khamzat, he is going to win this fight. I'm going sub round 2 as opposed to knockout round 2, but I think it'll be similar to what you're saying. He comes out in the second round, drops him, and then finds the sub on the ground. As opposed to, like,
I'll be honest with you, I'm more confident than anything about the timing of it.
Interesting.
And don't forget, the last time I was confident about the timing in a co-main or main event.
It happened. It was Aljo and Sean O'Malley.
Thank you for saying it.
Also, I just want to say, if Khamzat does win this fight, I think he beats Sean Strickland.
If Khamzat win this fight,
he's beating Sean Strickland because they've been offered, they've been guaranteed a title shot. The winner of this fight,
no question.
I think if Usman wins this fight, I think he loses to Sean Strickland in the rematch.
Nope.
Anyways, yeah, just saying. That's my thought.
Hate that.
Okay. You know, hey, that's just how I feel.
Moving on to the main event of the night, it's of course the rematch. Islam Makhachev.
Yeah.
Versus.
Yeah.
Christian Makhachev. No, wow, it's not.
We've been waiting for that one.
Just kidding. It's Islam Makhachev versus Alexander the Great. Volkanovski. Dino Bam Bam. Please.
What do they drink? No, I'm just playing.
Fuck's sake.
Okay, anyways. First fight. Let's start there. Absolute banger. Dude, a very close decision. Whether you think Islam won or whether you think Volk won, because I know there's it's like damn near a 50-50 split on what people think. Whatever you think happened. That was a damn close fight. It was a damn good fight, and we needed and we wanted and we deserved a rematch.
We did.
Two things were figured out in that fight. Number one, about Islam Makhachev.
I know exactly where you're going.
Yeah, we learned that he is a lot better of a striker than
we thought he was.
Than we ever thought or gave him credit to be.
And Volk
is a lot better of a grappler and more of a dog than we thought he was.
You're so adorable.
Stop it.
I love it.
So that's what we learned in that fight. It was fun. It was exciting.
It was.
It was joyous for Islam to pull that off and devastating for Volk to lose that in Australia, right? So here's the thing. On this one, much is being made about the short notice. This was supposed to be Charles do Bronx Oliveira.
How can it not be?
It was supposed to be Charles Oliveira. And a lot's being made about Alexander Volkanovski taking this fight on short notice. Me and you were talking before this how we don't like that this is a short notice opportunity. It sucks.
I fucking hate it.
I'm sure we all hate it.
It's not that I just don't like it. I really wanted to see this fight. And if Islam wins, and
if Islam wins, we don't get it a third.
We'll never see this fight again.
Right.
And it's upsetting.
I get that, right? And look, the circumstances are definitely not perfect for Alex Volkanovski, right? Obviously, he wants the full camp. Obviously, he needs to bulk up to 155.
By the way, he was 180 recently.
Okay.
And it's not a jacked 180. It's a 180 coming off a fucking injury. He recovered from his elbow surgery. By the way, officially cleared 3 weeks ago.
Officially cleared 3 weeks ago. So obviously we would want him physically bulking up to 180.
And did you see him? He looks pudgy.
Yeah, but anyways, we want to see him physically building up to 180 to cut down to 155. It's different than cutting down to 145,
so
right?
Different, dude.
Huge difference. We just saw him in July. He beat Yair Rodriguez, who, according to Tapology, is the #2 ranked featherweight in the world. Shout out Yair. I didn't know, when that happened, but here we are. And then, but let's not pretend that the circumstances are ideal for Islam Makhachev. They're not. It's better. It seems better, right? Like, he's fighting in his weight class. He's fighting in Abu Dhabi, which is his home for what it's worth. And it seems like, okay, he was in camp. He's ready to go. He's just changing the opponent. But it's different. Charles Oliveira is not Alexander Volkanovski. They're different fighters. Charles Oliveira is much taller than Alex Volkanovski. He's much rangier. He's a Muay Thai striker as opposed to Alex Volkanovski's boxing style. He's a jiu-jitsu wizard, whereas Alex Volkanovski is not. Fighting a shorter guy can be a detriment, It can be. Like Henry Cejudo was talking about it. There's a lot that goes into this, and it's not ideal for Islam Makhachev either. So I just want to say this isn't ideal for either guy. It's unfortunate that this is the circumstances we're getting it. Both teams are stupidly smart. Team Khabib is stupidly smart in the way that they train, and Alex Volkanovski's team, the way that these guys do their homework is unparalleled in this sport. I don't think there's a higher IQ striker or fighter in all of MMA than Alexander Volkanovski.
Or with bigger balls.
He has the biggest balls by far. Justin Gaethje passed over that BMF belt, right? Islam's the best 155 around the planet. Volk is the best 145 around the planet. Dino, it's time. It's time that we get our 5th ever double champion in UFC history. I don't give a shit what's going on.
You're going with
I'm
Volk?
going with my heart. I'm going with my gut. Volk's knocking him out in round 2. Put your money on it. Put your money on it. Hurry up and say what you got to say. I want to go. I got to go. I'm going against everybody. Round 2.
Fuck off.
Round 2.
You mean that?
Round 2.
Get the fuck out.
TKO. Volkanovski. Look, Islam is prepping for Charles. He thought this was going to be an easy fight. And it ain't going to be that easy. Is all I'm saying.
I'll run a bet with you.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
$100 for me.
Yeah.
50 for you.
Okay. We're getting the trilogy.
I'm so shook.
The MMA gods.
I am so fucking shook right now.
The MMA gods will give us this trilogy.
I'm so shook right now.
I'm sorry. We're getting the trilogy.
I never in all the upsets you've picked, whatever. I'm so proud of you, first of all, and I really hope you're right.
We're getting this trilogy.
The fact that you know what's annoying? You should have gone after me, because now I have to sit here and be rational, and now I'm just so shook.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, assuming he didn't say what the fuck he said, Volk is coming on short notice. He's got an elbow injury that healed 3 weeks ago. He is built. He looks fat. He's cutting down to 155 from 180. He looks fat. All those things. So I'm just you really fucked me up right now, dude.
That's fine. You're taking Islam Makhachev.
I'm taking Islam Makhachev.
Sub round 4.
No. I can't possibly pick somebody to finish a monster like Volk.
Mm-hmm.
Even off short notice, all that shit. I can't possibly do it just because, that's the respect that. Who am I for him to earn my respect? But that's the respect he's earned from me. I don't see it happening, but I do see a much easier decision for Islam this time around.
Mm-hmm.
Abu Dhabi, no rehydration clause.
Yeah.
155, he's fat right now, taking out short notice.
How does the fight play out? Really quickly. Just give me a quick synopsis of how this plays out.
Bro, if you listen to Volk, apparently he's going to come out hot.
Okay, but how do you think it plays out?
I think Islam is going to rock his ass on the feet.
Okay, and then win a decision?
I think he's gonna piece him up more on the feet than you would think, more than he did last time. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, Dino. God damn it, you're throwing me off completely.
That's my thing,
I just there's all the things that. Okay, I thought Islam was gonna win last time on paper.
I get it,
and I didn't want him to. I love Volk.
We both picked this.
I love Volk.
Yeah.
All the things that are different now are against Volk.
Right.
So I don't see him getting finished. I just see a much easier decision for Islam.
Okay, but can I ask
also, remember what I said before in the one video that we did? If you haven't watched it, watch it. There's a lot of mental to this.
There is a lot.
So the only way I could see that, if he comes out, I don't know. You fucked me up right now.
I'm just saying. I'm tripping too.
I'm fucked up.
Hey, he's gonna chin his ass.
I hope you're right.
And then we're getting the trilogy.
Oh my god.
UFC 300.
They should do a triple threat.
UFC 300.
They should do a triple threat.
With who?
Charles.
You know how much money I'd pay for that?
We're gonna be there. Like we're going.
Dropping four
first UFC triple threat.
To
like,
sit.
We're
yeah, I'm sitting cage side. I'm. How much is Herb Dean?
What if it was a Hell in a Cell?
Oh no, I can't do that.
Oh, okay, true.
That's too much.
True.
TLC.
What if it was with? What's his name? Not Herb Dean. Earl Hebner. What if Earl Hebner as the ref? But
I don't know. Look, all I know is we've gone on long enough.
So long.
But Dino, I truly believe that the MMA gods will even this shit out and give us what we deserve. Okay? And new, and it's a time we get a new double champ. Anyways, guys, anything else?
Oh, God, no. We've said so
guys,
much.
He's DS. I'm Dino Bam Bam. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, or if you think I'm batshit nuts and out of my fucking mind, do us a favor. Hit the little subscribe button, thumbs up, ring the damn bell, do all that bullshit. Follow us on Instagram at the107MMA. He says and still. I say and new ×2 or whatever it is. Double champ. DS DBB. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.